Hello, mysterious person behind the screen, and welcome to another Doctor Who commentary with me and Isaac. Our final Doctor Who commentary for the time being. For the time being, our final Doctor Who commentary. Yeah, like I said, once again, I'm joined by Isaac.
Hello.
So yeah, Demons of the Punjab this time, 13th Doctor story, uh, and yeah, I guess there's not much more to say. So without further ado,
If you'd like to sync this up with your own copy, put the episode start and press play. Three, two, one, go. These titles logo, I'd have to say I think my favourite of the new series.
oh, I think they're great. I mean, they're just they're a I think they're a perfect update of the original Howl Around one. Really, they've got that same kind of psychedelic imagery to them. Yeah, I really
Yeah,
like them. They're really cool, and I think they're missing something. I think maybe adding something in that, like maybe the Doctor's face or a TARDIS or something, just to fill it out a bit. But no, yeah, for the most part, I think they're great.
yeah. It's a shame they couldn't put Jodie's face in there,
Mm,
but it is. But they are such a.
yeah, they work really well without the face. But yeah, it might be nice to put something else in there.
I remember looking forward to this episode quite a lot when it first came out
Mm.
because during my final year, I went to see a play that was written by Patel.
Oh, oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I
Remember what it was about? I think it might have been about
yeah.
a joke being carried around in the workplace that went too far, what the
Oh,
joke was. But it was a really strong play and it just made
yeah.
the episode. And hearing him in interview tell this episode,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. This is the thing. It's this was the second historical of this era, right?
it
Second,
was,
yes,
yeah.
second. So coming off of Rosa, um, I was so impressed by Rosa, and I still think that's my favorite 13th Doctor story that we've had. Coming into this one, I was really excited to see how we were going to get another historical, and I still think, I mean, we kind of discussed this. I think it was in our last commentary, or maybe the one before that. We did discuss. I think historicals are really where this era shines. I think every single
Definitely.
historical has been perfect, like near perfect. So that's definitely what I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to most for next series.
I was asked recently what you're looking forward to most in Series 13. I said historical.
Yeah, yeah, and
Waiting for that story in his seventh wife.
oh yeah, the whole Henry the Eighth Seven. Yeah, that yes, yeah, you've talked about it before, and it could be a really cool story. Again, yeah, it would be really cool because it's one of those myths that's not like hugely popular, but enough people know a lot about it. So yeah, that could be cool.
And just talking about a lot of people, um, people have that you never learnt about during school.
Mm, yeah, I
So
never.
I remember
Yeah, sorry, go
just
on.
going back to primary, just saying, remember obviously that Britain had colonized what those countries bought Britain, but
Mm,
learnt about the big education was probably from itself. That was the mutants. Even then, that's the birth epic. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's true. The mutants is very much an allegory for kind of yeah. That is good. But I mean, yeah, we never. I think the closest we'd learnt to the British Empire and everything, and all that was in year eight. But it definitely didn't touch on anything that this episode does. So I think it was great, a great thing for Doctor Who to do. And yeah, it works really well.
And this is the closest we get pure historical since the Heart is because
Yeah.
the threat comes from uh, the threat comes from the time period itself rather
Mm.
because even though we've got aliens in this story, It's
Yeah, the aliens really aren't. They're not. They're there, but they're kind of secondary to the story as a whole. They're not. They don't really have much of an impact on the story. I don't think.
I think they do because Jarians, they were like a warlike.
Yeah.
Changed like Undertaker. They changed greater speed. Is it Matt?
Say again. Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry, is it Matt in this? Who's the villain?
Yes. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's
anyway,
his name.
They link thematically to unwilling to.
That's very true. That is a good point. The thematic link there. But yeah, and that's why I kind of some people who look at this, and I guess Rosa. Rosa's another one where people are like, oh, there didn't need to be an alien threat in there. Sometimes it's sort of like, I don't know, you look at the thematic significance of it, and there's a reason why they are there. They're not just. Sometimes they are, but it's not. It's often a case of it's not just an alien threat is there for the sake of having an alien threat. A lot of the time they are there for a purpose. But yeah.
Favorite episode of series?
Did you say this? Sorry. Go ahead.
Probably my favorite Whittaker episode over.
That is a really strong one. I mean, I still think Rosa's my favorite. Rosa is so strong, but in terms of a more traditional Doctor Who story, Haunting of Villa Diodati is it is so good. The atmosphere in that. And I prefer Series 11 over Series 12 for me personally. I just think it's kind of it's more fresh. But yeah, it's interesting.
Probably say I series because it does try to be a clean slate and try to be a bit more down to earth a little bit, because the Moffat era was very eccentric, very out, very daring.
Yeah.
Which I think threw a lot of.
Yeah.
Just Doctor Who, back to base, let's ease and in. Yeah, I'd say Series 11 great, if anyone wants to get in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's an opinion that will get you shot dead on the internet these days. But no, I think that was why Series 11 worked so well for me, is because it, the last few years of Doctor Who before this had been very sort of, like you say, weird and eccentric and kind of odd, in a way, and very complicated at points. And I think just bringing this series was what I personally needed from it. In that it was just back to basics, down to earth. Doctor and her friends show up. There's a problem. They fix the problem and they head off on another adventure. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but I find it really refreshing, and I just dig it. I just vibe with it, and it's a lot of my views on this era are very much sort of casual. Yeah, it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun.
Honestly, in such is that same recently, so laid towards my of Doctor.
What? Yeah.
Looking at the dark corners, just like it's not worth. I love it as much as I, but just quite laid back.
Yeah. Same. I'm just really just laid back with it now, because it's just, for me, I've said before, my relationship with Doctor Who is such. It now, current era Doctor Who is just like I'm just sitting back and enjoying it. I don't really care about any theories or anything like that. I don't really care about the canon really. I'm just happy if we get adventures on a Sunday night with that are fun and are exciting and all that, and that's all I really need.
I've heard so many. If you were brought on to this era by 13th Doctor era, Why do you say that?
uh,
Any episode, including the twin dilemma and Fear Her, can be someone's first encounter. So I don't.
yeah, exactly, exactly, including Twin Dilemma and Theatre. Like you said, every episode's going to be someone's first one, and every episode's going to be someone's favorite as well. And I don't think it's. I don't know. There's so many with this era. There are so many opinions around it, and there are so many negative opinions around it. So many people who are like, "Oh, it's not Doctor Who. It's barely Doctor Who. It's only Doctor Who in the name and everything." And it's just like,
I got one prick saying to me, anything can be objectively, and this era is objective. So if you like, you are.
oh yeah, and that's another thing. The whole thing of like subjectivity versus objectivity and everything, and it's like, well, where do you draw that line almost? Because it's difficult. It's really difficult. And I mean, I guess just looking at like aesthetically this era, it's the just looking at the visuals and everything and the production, it's the best Doctor Who era. you know.
Yeah, in terms of visual, just talking about this episode, it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
It must be a film.
Yeah. Absolutely, it looks stunning, and the location filming. I mean, I don't know where they filmed this. I assume it was abroad, but yeah, it's stunning.
In South.
Oh yes, that sounds about right.
It's amazing how TikTok going abroad was so expensive and so it's so important.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you now get that, don't you? In Doctor Who, you just get the the episode every series that's clearly been filmed abroad, and I mean, this had this, and I guess I'm sure there was another one, wasn't there, that was filmed abroad? But maybe the Ghost Monument, was that filmed abroad
as well?
Yeah.
I personally love that certain good.
Yeah.
I hope whenever Chris Chibnall the show.
What was that? Sorry.
I was just saying. I think Vinay Patel would be a good choice for.
Yeah, a good
when Chris Chibnall went.
Yeah. That would be good because he's great, and he's brilliant on Twitter as well. If you ever follow him on Twitter, he's really good on Twitter. But yeah, he's a great writer, and I don't know because he wrote Fugitive of the Jadoon, and I don't know how much of that was was him and how much of that was Chris Chibnall, because obviously that was the one that really dropped the bomb of the series arc on us with the Fugitive Doctor and everything.
Well,
yeah.
I did tweet quite a few months ago. Yeah, I remember sitting in Chris. He said, "Oh, we've just dropped one of the biggest bombshells in Doctor Who." So
yeah, that's yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's I also find it funny that episode wasn't written by Chibnall like solo because it's so big. But then again, I guess it's cool to have another voice of that. But yeah, it is. It's interesting. I definitely. I don't know if he's coming back for Series 13, but I hope so. Has that been announced at all?
I don't think the writers have been.
No.
I hope Vinay Patel. You read the Target.
What was that? Sorry, the connection's kind of bad tonight. It's
Have you read Doctor Who: The Target storybook?
Oh, no, I haven't actually. I did I did come close to reading it, but I I bought it and then gave it as a gift to someone, quite out of the blue. So I should get my hands on it, because it does look really nice.
I think there's a story in the book written by Patel. It takes place when the war.
Oh, interesting actually. Yeah, no, I did see
it's
it.
told
Yeah.
through a series of letters, almost like how the novel is written.
Oh, nice. That's kind of cool. I like when novels do that, when it's kind of when the story is told via different means, because that's something you can only really do in a novel, when it's told through like letters or emails and everything. That's something that's really unique to that medium, and I think when the medium of novels uses that to its advantage, I like it. It's good. Yeah, this is I mean I've always been a fan of these characters, but this is definitely kind of one of the episodes that I can see the criticisms of Ryan, because he doesn't do a lot in this. He does sort of just stand there going, "Oh, this is cool. I got chips though." Oh,
That's true, yeah.
oh, you know.
I mean, I'd say episodes that show him off better are probably like Rose.
Yeah.
Takes you away as a loop.
Yeah, yeah. Episodes that kind of.
I was happy when.
Yeah, go on.
I was happy with their departure because they left willingly.
Yeah.
Pretty.
I was as well, because I know a lot of people were like, oh, it just came out of nowhere, but I was like, I don't know, it kind of harked back to departures like Tegan and people who were just like, yeah, I'm all right now. I've had my fill. I'm gonna go off. And I like that for a change, and it was just a nice sort of thanks for everything, Doc. Hopefully see you again one day. Instead of this big it was just a nice refresher, a nice change of pace from they're gonna die, or they're gonna be trapped in a time loop, or they're gonna be trapped in another universe, or they're gonna do this and become that. It was just nice that they just died. Not died. It was nice that they just left of their own accord. It was refreshing, and I like that. And like you said, going back to like episodes that show Ryan off well, Woman Who Fell to Earth, obviously. He was at his best when there were arc heavy episodes for him, I think, and
definitely, yeah.
Same with Graham.
The whole arc of series 11 was accepting that Graham.
Yeah, and that's
and structurally, I just find it a bit odd. Resolved, it takes.
Yeah.
And then we've got one more episode of the series, because it's like the big story arc has been resolved, but it's like, oh, we've got one more episode. It'd be like if, I don't know, series they defeat the Dalek Emperor in episode 12, and then episode 13 is Boomtown, where they defeat a villain who appeared earlier in the series again.
That's very true. I mean, Battle of Ranskorav Kolos is I think that coming on that being a series finale, I think it might be one of the most "is that it?" moments of TV I've ever watched, because I just ended that and it's just like, what?
Flaccid, just like it's 50 minutes, it just happens and that's it.
Yeah, I remember watching
say what you
it.
will about
like,
the Timeless Children, but definitely.
Oh yeah. It felt like a
finale.
finale.
The stakes, it raised the stakes and question.
I think Mr. TARDIS, in his video counting down, like ranking the series of New Who from worst to best, he was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure Battle of Ranskorav Kolos needs to be contacted by Ofcom on grounds of false advertisement."
Oh yeah, it joins Asylum of the Daleks with false advertising.
Very, very much so. We're gonna have every Dalek ever. Wait, no, you didn't. Oh wait, no, yeah, we did actually. We had one in the background, one that was just half in shot, one that was out of focus, and it was just like, oh god.
You can get not like Jodie as the doesn't make sex.
Yeah, this is the thing.
She's miscast. I do want to say that, but to say, oh, she can't do his work, oh, she's hateful.
That I think that pisses me off the most when it's like, oh, Whittaker the hateful, she's so hateful, and it's like, well, what? Let's have a look at what she's done to be so hateful. She's called out people who were being sexist twats. That's very, very hateful.
So many people were saying, "Oh, she's insulting the fans."
Yeah, well, that's just comes to the whole Brie Larson thing, doesn't it?
I'm willing to bet if Matt Smith, you'd be cheering it on, saying, "Yeah, go on, mate, prove them."
Yeah, exactly. It's double standards, and I mean, I'm not 100% happy with what she's done. Like overall, like I like her and I like the Doctor, and I think she's just this wonderful little ray of sunshine. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't want a bit more. But at the end of the day, I don't get what she's done to deserve so much backlash. Because at worst,
well, she said some white.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well,
to be honest, she does have a.
Yeah.
There is the television film is dominant.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's been like that for years, but
yeah, and that's the thing. It's and it is very true that Doctor Who, for most of its 50 plus, well, nearly 60-year run, it has been very dominated by straight white guys, and that's not an attack at straight white guys. I am a straight white guy. But I'm just saying, like, it's for all this time, it's just, it is very true that it has been dominated by that, as most TV and films have been. But it's just nice that we're getting more diversity, and I don't. I mean,
dominant art and video.
Yes, yeah, yes.
Just brought up issues that I didn't really consider. It's a great video.
Yeah, Dominic Martin's, G. Martin's video on it. It's it was a conversation that needed discussing. It was something that needed to be brought up, and I'm glad that he did do that. And yeah, and it's just ultimately this whole era, for better or worse, has rooted out a lot of the Doctor Who fandom for being, and it's showing people's true colours. It's rooted out the sexists and racists, and I don't. In many ways, that could be a good thing for the long run, because it just means we know who to watch out for. But
we invented a game called It's basically this: you roll the dice, you land on a space. You're a 40-year-old white man, minority. Move forward spaces. You are the winner. I tried sending that off to all the board games, but they didn't apply. I only assume they've got something else in mind.
I don't know if you follow the account on Twitter or Instagram called Daniel Whittaker-Dakin Stanley. Have you heard of that account? It's it's a great, like, parody account of for anyone who doesn't know, it's like a parody account of a Not My Doctor, and it's hilarious. It's just full of like this fake middle-aged man with actors at conventions with like Not My Doctor t-shirts on, and like photoshopped frowns on the actor's face and stuff. It's hilarious. Daniel Whittaker-Dakin Stanley. It's so funny.
Yeah, going back to conventions, when MCM or BBC, they've got like that poster of all the doctors. Typically, they put the 13%.
Yeah.
You get say 12.
Oh yeah, well.
Oh gee, I don't know. Maybe because she's the current Doctor. If you don't like this era, have a bit of perspective.
That's it, isn't it? It's like, well, were you complaining when all over the 50th posters, that big famous 50th anniversary poster with all the Doctors on, were you complaining that Matt Smith was at the centre?
Exactly.
No, he was the current incarnation. It made sense for him to be in the middle with all the other Doctors surrounding him. It's not hard to figure out. It's the 13th Doctor isn't erasing it, and it gets to the point where it's like in that I don't know if you remember that Children in Need thing that happened, where that young girl was surprised by Jodie and got a tour of the set and stuff, and she said something about how she was the best. She was her favourite Doctor and she was better than all the other ones. And we had like so many people online freaking out because apparently that was trying to erase all the male Doctors. And it's like,
no, it's not.
It's literally just a young girl who's a big fan of this era.
And the infamous, the infamous said, I guarantee if that was a straight boy, she wouldn't have done it.
Oh, yeah, that.
I mean, a couple of days ago, that just disproved your theory.
Yes.
She appeared on BBC Radio Link shirt. So
oh yeah, to surprise that. Yeah, Harrison.
Happy birthday or something. So that. It's not a theory. It's just delusion.
I've got a theory that it's a demon. Yeah, no, like it's complete delusion. It's complete delusion, and these people will look for anything that supports their false points. They will look for anything. If Jodie breathes, they'll.
Is this white genocide?
Exactly. Is this white genocide? It's like, what the fuck are you talking? And a certain person's review of this episode, if you ever watch it,
tell us we should hate it because it's got Muslim.
The whole thing was like an attack against saying that Muslims are trying to kill the white man and stuff. It was like, fucking hell.
White male replacement.
Yeah. It's just, oh my god, it's like, that was terrifying. Yeah. My claim to fame, I always brag about this scene. I got featured in a tweet about this scene by BBC America. It was like a little TV spot they made, and my tweet got featured in it. So that's my little claim.
Right.
That's my little claim to fame about this scene.
I think the Radio Times some take tweets from fans.
Yes, the Radio Times does. Yeah.
About the episode live. I think I took my tweet about from Resolution, the Daleks killing all the soldiers. Daleks killing soldiers, this is pure bliss, or something.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, they took that saying one fan was very happy to see them.
Oh, out of context. Really, you read that out of context. Oh.
I hope they context.
It's always fun. It's always fun when tweets from you get used in like social media posts and stuff, because it's just, yeah. She's got shades of Tom Baker here. I don't know, like that face she made, like when they asked her to like marry them and stuff. That was a very Tom Baker-ish face.
It's The Curse of Peladon recent.
Oh yeah.
John Pertwee said into a chorus since Elizabeth's.
That's it. Yeah, there are lots of shades of the other Doctors in Jodie's performance. I mean, I know a lot. The problem I think I have with her performance, and I really like her, but sometimes she does play it a little bit too CBBC, if that makes sense, and it doesn't really bother me. Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes it can be a bit too expressive.
That's it. Yeah. It seems like she's constantly
too obvious.
Exactly. Yeah, constantly dialed up.
Struggle with exposition.
Yeah, the exposition is what, like, that's where she falls down for me, because often it's like, these people are doing this, and this is happening, but why is that happening? Oh, I know. And like she talks in that voice, and it's just she falls down when she has to do that, I think. But that's more of a problem with the writer, not necessarily her. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, sometimes the dialogue is so on the nose. I'm not sure anyone could convincingly spite it out, but.
Per Sonic.
What was that? Sorry.
I'm just saying, 13 Sonic Scrooge.
Oh yeah. It's I like the design of the Sonic, and I appreciate when it gets used, but I think it's the way it is, especially in Series 11, it is used a hell of a lot, and it's often like useless. Really, it's just used for anything. And I know that I can understand why some fans get annoyed about that, because she waves it around like a wand from Harry Potter, and so she does that really exaggerated thing where she pulls it out of her jacket and like rotates her arm around every time she uses it.
Yeah, there is that. I'd argue that's kind of a problem with the series in general.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. The Sonic overuse in...
If the Pteroleptors, I want them to
to destroy it. Destroy it, and you will give your Sonic to me. But yeah, no, it is interesting because the design is odd, for sure. I do quite like it. I am. It does look suitably alien, and I mean, come on, we've had all sorts of different Sonic designs over the years, and they've all looked wildly different from one another. So I don't. It's yeah, I quite like it.
Well, quite a few criticise Joe. Oh, she didn't research.
Yeah.
So, if you're taking on a well-known, you don't.
Yeah.
There's no obligation for you to research. She made a very good comparison to. It's like there's been so many interpretations. Is that?
Oh yeah.
Worth you not watching those and.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean,
if someone was cast as Richard III, which has been immortalised on screen,
oh
by
yeah,
Laurence Olivier in are they bad? Are they instantly bad at not check their interpretations if they want to give their own?
exactly. It's and you know, by that logic, if you're going to attack her for not doing her research, attack William Hartnell. For not doing his research.
Oh yeah.
Attack Matt Smith for
or attack Christopher Eccleston.
Yes. Exactly.
Attack Christopher Eccleston for saying he never related to Doctor Who as a child because it was too up class.
Yeah. He's said that loads of times before. He's like, I never related to the Doctor as a kid because it was just this upper class guy on screen, and I'm a working class lad, and it just didn't appeal to me. Attack him for that. If Jodie had said that, Jesus Christ, she would be torn apart. Yeah. She would be absolutely destroyed.
Angry 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
Girl before with. I mean, I'll say this about in series. Graham and Ryan liked had a, but I have to agree with what a lot of people said. It felt like she got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, and I mean,
yeah, thinking Praxius.
Yeah.
Writers out of their way as useless because I think she discovers something and has this own theory, and the Doctor says, "Oh, don't worry, I already know what it is."
Yes.
Actively her useless, but you know, made me do a 180 around, and got why it was so low on. Like Torchwood, and criticism for some of that Owen was too unlikable and cynical.
Yeah,
Any character, and she quiet, do anything. But then he reveals, oh, Tosh spent ages in solitary, and
yeah.
Owen gonna get battered. Yeah, you can see why it turned out.
Yeah, for sure. It's never judge a character by their first episode, because they will always grow into something more than that, hopefully. And I think Yaz, we will hopefully see more of growth in. Oh god, that was good grammar, wasn't it? We'll hopefully see more of her growth. Sorry, in series 13, now that she's sort of been unshackled from the other two. And I think this is kind of the thing, the whole Three Companions thing. Three Companions absolutely can work, but when you're working under a 50-minute TV format, that's not often a lot of time to give each and every one of them stuff to do. I think it's different in the classic series, because that was week after week, 25-minute episodes that made up serials that often were hour and a half, 2 hours long when you put all the episodes together. So that's different. But yeah, in the new series, I'm not sure it works that well, just in the format that they have.
Yeah, because it worked in something like sometimes 6 weeks for
Yeah.
the Companions to do stuff.
Yeah. It still baffles me that Bradley Walsh wore a wig for his time on Doctor Who. Yeah, apparently it's not his real hair, which kind of is insane. It's insane. It doesn't look like a wig at all. And I think, yeah, because when you watch him on the chase and stuff, his hair's quite like long, and obviously it's not as grey. And it's just weird to me that he wore a wig for it, because it doesn't look like a wig at all.
Do like Yaz pretty
Yeah,
of series 11, I'd say, because it is her backstory and it's her.
Well, that's it. Yeah, this is Yaz's standout episode, isn't it? This is her moment to shine, and considering there was 10 episodes this series, I kind of feel like she should have had a little bit more than just the one spotlight. I mean, I guess she had Arachnids in the UK, but I don't know it that feels like it starts off as Yaz's story and then quickly descends into just a general team dynamic story, unfortunately. But yeah. I will say I really love the music in this episode. I think the music is absolutely fantastic here.
Particularly when can basically go.
Yeah.
I've loved Sega. It's
I've loved his work too, and I know a lot of people have a problem with him as we go on, and I do think it gets a little bit samey later on, but I think for the most part his work is still very solid. And I don't really get. People are like, oh, he's the worst thing to happen to the music of Doctor Who since 1980, whatever, and it's just like, oh, come on. Sometimes it does feel like people are sort of like, well, we will criticize anything in this era.
I remember seeing a load of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, go on.
Just going back to the whole pure historical, I just love how it's a character which classic series are, and threat real history. For example, and I was looking at that, and the threat's really more of slave trade.
Yeah.
The Doctor thrown to the line any second.
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah, and in
the Romans, yeah.
it reminds me a lot of the Reign of Terror as well, because it's about being sides.
Yeah.
The wrong side.
There is shades of Reign of Terror in this, actually. That's a good shout. That's a very good shout. It's definitely got shades of that. I find it interesting. Yeah, go on.
Not listened to it, but it's quite similar. Sense that it takes place in the aftermath of a huge battle, and is about one.
Yeah,
because Highlanders takes place after the Battle of.
Yeah, that is an interesting point, actually. I mean, the thing is, I don't like the Highlanders. I watched the reconstruction, and I find it really, really dull. But I can definitely see where people are coming from, because it is very much that the setting is very similar, like you say, the aftermath of the battle and everything, and we meet all these characters and everything. But yeah, I can see that, actually. That's a good shot. I've never really thought about that.
I do like him as a villain, because he's not entirely unsympathetic, and just to go back to that other made-up delusion, every single villain in the Chibnall, nasty, horrible white.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Can I just say, what were you watching? The first episode? I'm pretty sure. Ghost Monument was Art Man. I mean, Rosa.
Yeah.
The current English Master is not a white. Oh.
That's the thing, isn't
also,
it?
And then because I got into it with someone who said that, and I said, villains in Doctor Who. It was like, yeah, but it's different now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a stupid comment. Rule number 1 of the YouTube section.
Oh.
You are gonna get it. Yeah, it was on my Woman Who Fell to Earth review.
Yeah.
Dissertation about not see the SJW undertones here. It was so obvious in face, like the Doctor telling White to use classic SJW. The attempt to use his gun, telling the soldier in a people.
Yeah.
Is that SJW? Oh wait, it's a white, so no, it's not.
This is the thing. To quote the Eighth Doctor, I love humans, always seeing patterns in things that aren't there.
It's just they will literally pick up
any minor detail from these series.
To quote the film yesterday,
yeah,
John Lennon needs to see side.
Yeah, sums it up. It sums it up. You know, there are absolutely legitimate criticisms of this era. I have mine. I have my fair share. Outlets like the Who Addicts and Big Blue Box podcast, they legitimate criticisms in those places. Then you get people like the Bolstrex, like the Nerdrotics, who will, like you say, just pick up on any little detail they can find, any little bit in the script that even has a hint that it could possibly be against white people, which, I mean, come on, there's none, but I mean, they will mine anything out, and they'll make an hour-long video ranting about how white people are being killed, and
White.
White genocide, exactly, and it's
Do
just...
some life seriously.
Go outside. I mean, don't go outside because we're in a pandemic, but go, go outside. You'd be surprised. Everyone's not white out there. It's just,
They're both willing to protect what they believe,
yeah.
but of them, that's so.
It's tragic. It's a story about two people, like you say, who are protecting what they believe in, and unfortunately, a lot what they believe in and what each side believes in is just caught in the web of this horrific time in history. It's tragic. It's really tragic. And I guess, yeah, it's haunting. It's really good. It's really good bit of drama, and I think this era does historicals, like I was saying earlier. I think the difference between this era's historicals and, say, RTD era historicals, these historicals are very much centered on showing how individual characters and individual people are affected by whatever period's events are happening. So Rosa, you've got obviously Rosa herself, all the people surrounding her. It centers on the impact of that community and what she did. It's about this family and how they're kind of torn apart by these horrific events. Witchfinders, same thing with what's her face, the girl in it. I've forgotten her name now. but yeah, it's brilliant. I think that's why historicals are so compelling. I mean, I think the one exception might be Nikola Tesla, but even then, that's yeah. It's still rooted in the rivalry between Tesla and Edison. And I just realised I just talked over that brilliant scene of him getting shot, and yeah, this scene is brilliant. It's
yeah, that
stunning.
music there is.
Oh, it's stunning. It's so powerful to see his head rise up into all these other heads, and it's really powerful. It's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. See, this is kind of where I'm on the side of people who are like, they never. There's no warmth between these characters. I definitely think there could have been a hug there. There could have been a hug there, I think, between her and Yaz. And I definitely agree with the whole thing of like, there's no intimacy between them until right at the very end. But it still doesn't take away from what a powerful ending this is.
It's a bit like Jane. This.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Tegan's, just shakes their hands and says goodbye.
No, for sure. I mean, half of season 19 is them moaning at each other. I mean, I remember Josh Schneers tweeted out a few months ago, or a few weeks ago, he was watching Forward to Doomsday, and Nyssa is like, they were going to kill me, Doctor, and the Doctor's reaction is just, yes, the devils. it's just like the most casual reaction.
It's like the end of Ark of when Tegan says, "Oh, I'd like to come back." The Doctor's like, "Brilliant."
Yeah.
And there's like a split second of his face that just thinks,
"Oh."
It's almost like they left the Davison a bit too long.
Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake, all this again. It's yeah. And I love this variation of the Doctor Who theme. It's really brilliant.
Yeah, works better than music. I was like, no, you mess with the Doctor
Yeah.
It's sacrilege.
And I think, yeah, that's the kind of as the kind of the victim of this being on BBC One was that I remember at the end of this the announcer talked all over it. The theme started and then the announcer was like, and if you want to catch up on Doctor Who on iPlayer, and I was just like, shut up, I want to hear the theme. It was like, thankfully they posted it, a clean version on the YouTube afterwards, but yeah, so that was our shortest commentary ever. That flew by. Unfortunately, the connection was a bit bad there, but I hope that it was still perfectly listenable to everyone. I will make sure it's perfectly listenable to everyone. So yeah, what are we doing for our next series of commentaries?
Well, we have finished on for the time.
Yeah.
And our next series of commentaries is going to take
a galaxy far, far away.
That's what that is.
Yes. So yes, looking forward to that when we do those commentaries. Meantime, go check out Isaac's channel, and yeah, we will see you when we return. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.